So to wrap things up here, I want to share a few observations that I've had from helping our clients create these flywheels. In fact, you'll probably see pretty encouraging results from your very first sprint, but that is just the beginning. The key is not to stop the flywheel turning. In talent development, it can be very tempting to fall for the shiny object syndrome. Some new cool platform that delivers micro doses of content to your people in tiny bursts and harnesses the power of AI to curate learning for them. Now, some of those can be fantastic, but the beauty of this flywheel approach is that we keep it simple. Pick new topics for new cohorts and keep repeating the process. There are no bells and whistles with this approach. It's about bringing humans together to connect through the uncomfortable but incredibly transformational experience of learning together. And after consistent iterations of this flywheel, you start to see incredible results. Some of the benefits we've seen at our clients is you'll foster connection and collaboration across functions. You'll develop a bias for action in your people. You'll give them opportunities to connect with their personal meaning, the why that they're learning and working at your company. You'll have pre-built mechanisms for sharing company updates and changes. You'll create a go-to place for employees' questions. You'll surface issues that you know you need to address in future cohorts, shortcutting your need to ever do a needs assessment. You'll create a culture for continuous learning. And as a talent development team, what will you uncover from using the flywheel? Some of the things we've seen at our clients: new skill gaps that surface during the sessions, validation on the bench strength of key employee populations, ways to reinforce key competencies that are important for scale. You'll identify top talent that can be leveraged for new opportunities and new roles within the organization. And finally, real use cases, stories of successes and challenges that can support broader learning or talent development goals, decisions, and budget. If you want a taste of what this could be, imagine a world in which your employees go off on a morning run or are driving their kids to school, and on the way back, they're listening to a podcast. And in that podcast, they're learning about your company's core values or your company's approach to client meetings. And after that morning routine, they go about their day and they receive a Slack message, which prompts them to reflect on what they learned that morning. They document their ideas and they commit to taking action. Later that afternoon, they get together on a Zoom call and discuss it with their counterparts in other divisions. They share ideas on how to implement some of the concepts that were covered in the podcast. They commit to taking action that week. A few days later, they're in a client meeting. They implement a framework that they learned in the podcast that they discussed with one of their peers and tweaked to make it useful to them. And they execute flawlessly. They return to their computer that evening, excited to share the results of that meeting with the cohort that they learned those skills with. That evening, they receive another prompt, a podcast to download, ready for tomorrow morning's run, ready for the next step on their journey of learning.